Hey everybody, it's David Cooper again with Linehaul News. I'm super excited to have Branson Proctor here with me. Branson, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Excited
Yeah,
as well.
this is actually my favorite time of the year for things with doing all this stuff with John Haldy and Linehaul News, and it's where we are prepping for the Linehaul Summit. Um, the reason I like it so much is that I get to reach out and I get to talk to a ton of people, both in the vendor space and in the TSP space. It is the gathering of 600 to 800 of the minds in this space, and it's a cool thing to see come together, and I love working on the backside of it. um, Wanted to let you guys know that we are trying something new this year. We are doing some Wednesday seminars. You may have attended some of these at one of our regional events we've done across the country. But we've had some good feedback on these, and people really like the education and the really hands-on approach that most of our vendors are taking during these presentations. And we're going to bring a whole lot of them to you during the Dallas event. So on Wednesday, we have 12 seminars scheduled. You'll see the calendar coming out here quickly. They are at 1, 2, and 3 p.m. right before the opening ceremonies at 4 on Wednesday. So if you're planning your trips, get down there early. And we are super excited to bring them to you. One of the main topics we're going to be talking about down there throughout the entire show is retention. It's one that we hit on in a big way. We've completely changed things that I've done with my company over the first couple of years. When we first got into this game, we were always a hire fast, just get the butts in the seats, for lack of a better term. And we've kind of had to switch those things, here. Like, we've learned that, safety is so important. I've said for years that we were a staffing agency and then a fleet rental service. Well, now we're a safety company, a staffing agency, and a fleet rental service. And a big part of being a safety company is retaining safe drivers. And I think a big part of that is benefits. And it's what Branson and I have been talking about. So, Branson, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for going on. I can keep talking about everything we do with our company, but you and I have been chatting a lot lately about retention and just the power of benefits and what we can do with that. So I want to turn the floor over to you. I want you to go through just what you've seen with your customers. What kind of results are they having, and what are they giving you? What kind of feedback are they giving you?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, David. And we're really excited to participate with you guys at Linehaul and all the events that are coming up here throughout the year, and especially with the Dallas event coming up here in June. So again, thank you for having me. And yeah, again, you hit the nail on the head here. Owning and running a small business, you wear many hats, right? There's so many things to think of and to do and to check the boxes for. But what should be in that equation is the importance and the value of understanding what benefits and, more importantly, a competitive and rich benefit offering can bring to your organization. And really, that's what we're seeing in the logistics space. Long story short, with Decisely benefits that we offer in our logistics spaces to our SP providers and contractors, we are seeing a retention factor of 2 times. What that means is that those that employees that participate in the benefits that we offer stay with their employer twice as long as those employees that don't participate in the benefits package. We're seeing phenomenal proactive approaches to healthcare, right? So the benefits that we offer are extremely rich in plan design, which results in a little bit higher utilization for the first 12 to 18 months, right? Going to the doctor. And we do that with no cost services through the benefits that we offer. About 85% of your total healthcare, out of pocket costs on normal traditional health plans or high deductible health plans are covered at absolutely no cost on the medical plans that we negotiate with our carrier partners here within our programs. Kind of a little bit of insider baseball. Essentially what we do is we target these association and franchise or national footprint marketplaces such as your SPs here. So what we do is we strive to bring a volume of data to the carrier partners, right? Because just kind of backtrack historically, what we've seen in the small to medium sized business space is the inability to work for carrier partners to work with them because they're small, right? They don't have enough resources like the larger Fortune 100 companies like Coca-Cola, FedEx, Home Depots of the world have. And so carriers are hesitant to work with them because of that lack of transparency and the lack of data that normally is afforded to larger corporations, where they're able to spread the risk out amongst their many participants. Okay. And so our approach here is to provide these carrier partners with large amounts of data so that they can assess the risk, right, within a industry, right, to see what the trends are from a medical claim standpoint and a prescription claim standpoint. Therefore, what we're able to do is give individual quotes to our SP contractors and thus allow them to gain access to these sorts of benefits that normally wouldn't be afforded to them. Okay. And then again, like I said, it results in our approach is a more proactive. We're trying to encourage that proactive behavior so that you're not discouraged to go to the doctor because you have to pay $5,000 or $7,000 first before your medical insurance would start to really cover anything with a high deductible health plan, for example. And so what we're seeing is, like I said, getting back to my original point, is we're seeing higher utilization, but that's a good thing because we want folks to go to the doctor. We want you to go and get your annual physicals. We want you to take some low cost generic drugs and not have to worry about the cost of actually using your health insurance. Okay. And ultimately, what we're seeing with that approach is because we're having these no cost services on the healthcare plans, we're actually seeing overall in the long term a reduction in high cost plans, about 20% reduction in overall plan costs by this proactive approach and by encouraging employee behavior to be more proactive with their healthcare, right? Go and seek out their doctors and maybe catch things early on that could develop and lead into more chronic or serious conditions that can blow up any healthcare plan with those high claims later on.
Such a unique approach. I've seen it lately in a lot of stuff with the Freight Waves articles and stuff where you've got your Night Swifts of the world and the big boys, and they're hiring these CHOs. Have you heard this term?
Chief health officers?
Chief Happiness Officer.
No, obviously I have not.
Yeah, so they're all concerned with the well-being and the happiness and the lifestyle and the quality of life of their drivers, right? The work-life balance, how things are going at home, just making sure that these people are on the right path, that they're getting through life the right way.
Yeah.
See that as part of the benefits of what you guys are offering, right? By enticing these guys, by not enticing, incentivizing maybe the right word, but getting people to go to utilize their healthcare. It makes it a true value to them, right? It brings value to the expense that contractors have from our side. And you're saying it, guys sticking around 2 times as long. To put that into perspective, right? Pat McKay said this time and time again, the average cost to hire, to recruit, to hire, to onboard, to train, to fully bring a driver up to speed, it's north of $10,000. Right. I got to figure a Decisely plan per driver, maybe you solo without a family. I don't know. It's going to cost me $4 or $5 grand a year, maybe with a family, 8, 9 grand a year, somewhere in there. Right. To me, even with a family, I'm money even. If it's a guy solo that doesn't have family with him, I'm saving what? If it's 2 times as long, I'm saving 15 grand a year. I mean,
You're,
that's a no brainer. No
you're,
brainer for me.
you're exactly right, David. The bottom line is keeping good employees and keeping that morale up and making them understand the value of you as the employer offering them a extremely rich benefit plan. The employee morale is up. The bottom line is keeping a good employee is cheaper than finding their replacement, right?
Yeah,
For all the
absolutely.
reasons you mentioned, right? The recruiting and hiring, the training and on, the loss of productivity, right? And then also just employee morale and maybe industry knowledge that you're losing with that higher lead, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just to give you an example, right? To your point about kind of trend, high deductible health plans in deductibles or in the industry over the past decade have increased 68% over the past decade, right? And so what does that do? That discourages employees from seeking their necessary medical care, right? It disincentivizes them from going to the doctor. And so exactly to your point, what our approach is providing these no-cost services, encourage this behavior of having a more proactive approach, right? So that the employees can actually use their insurance and save money when using the insurance by not having any cost associated with primary care visits, urgent care visits, specialist visits, all of your lab work, blood work, and imaging, and even your generic prescription drugs, online telemedicine, physical therapy, mental behavioral health cares. Everything I just mentioned on the health plans that we've negotiated and offer to our SP contractors would be covered at no cost under the plan designs that we're talking about.
And that's a big list of benefits. And it's all, honestly, in my opinion, it's a lot that a lot of other plans aren't offering. And I think that's something that probably, or hopefully, your customers are taking advantage of and explaining to their drivers. But, from our side of it, from me being a contractor and knowing this game, those are the tools that I'm using in my recruiting. but
Absolutely.
also in my retention. Hey guys, you know that you're not taking advantage of this, right? If the guy's not using it, get to know your drivers, talk to your drivers, figure out what they're doing with these benefits. There's no point in me as a TSP or as a, as an employer paying for healthcare for all of my employees if none of them are going to the doctor. I would rather them use it to this bit. I look at it like I'm looking at trucks, right? I'm a big fan of preventative maintenance. I don't want my truck breaking down on the side of the road. I'd rather know before the truck leaves the terminal that I got something wrong with it.
Yep.
I'm the same way with my driver, right? I'd rather know that I got something wrong with the ticker rather than something go bad 1,000 miles down the road. It's something to look into. We are big with that with our drivers. We want all of our guys going to their annual visits. They have to do med cards, but we're more than that. Go see your family doctor. Go take advantage of this. And I think you guys are preaching that same thing of take care of yourself, make sure you're healthy, make sure you're in a good mindset. I think that mental health care is a big one. We implemented that with our drivers a few years ago with our insurance policy that we had a it was during the COVID times, but a lot of them
Yep.
implemented the free 1-800 call lines. We passed that out to all of our drivers, and drivers were very thankful for that. Those guys are out on the road for long hours at a time. Having those added benefits is huge for them. Just somebody to talk to, and especially trained professionals on the other end of the line. It's hard to put a price on what that savings can be when things are, if you're in a really, really bad situation with the driver, that's invaluable in my opinion.
Exactly. It comes down to education, right? What they don't know, what they don't know, right? And so part of what my job is with speaking to employers, and even when I conduct open enrollment meetings and actually get the opportunity to speak with the employees who would be participating in coverage, it boils down to that, right? It's saying, hey, you got something going on with your shoulder. Don't wait. Utilize the free physical therapy services, even virtual physical therapy services that you can do when you're at a truck stop, right? That you can do in the comfort of your own home, because that preventative physical therapy and proactive approach maybe saves you surgery later on, and then the lingering effects of surgery that happen, or complications that could result of a complex surgery in that regard. So it's exactly that. Coming out of the COVID years, to your point as well, mental health is always paramount and a huge topic of discussion. And exactly that, folks with these plans can utilize FaceTiming or speaking with a licensed mental health therapist, even just a regular physician, right? You can FaceTime a doctor, say, open your mouth, look up in the light. You can pick up your drugs at a CVS pharmacy or any of your retail pharmacies later on in the day, instead of spending the time to actually go to a physical location for a doctor's office. So, yeah, it just boils down to education, those little tidbits, right? Don't go to the emergency room unless it's a true life-threatening emergency, right? You get in a car wreck, okay, yes, go to the emergency room. But you have some stitches, or you're sick and you can't get an appointment with your primary care physician. These urgent care facilities, these doc in the box places, as we call them, they're everywhere, right? They're all, for the most part, in network within the national PPO networks that we leverage and utilize on these plans. So just those educational tidbits, right, that really make a difference. And to your point, it kind of makes the employees feel warm and fuzzy, right? It makes them feel that there's a value, that my employer values me. He or she is giving me options to choose from. It's not just one medical plan. Here it is, take it or leave it. There's a wide range of medical plans that you can choose from, 3 to 4 with most of our clients that we're able to offer, which again is another differentiator. Right? It's not just a one size fits all, and hey, here it is, take it or leave it, because everybody's risk tolerances are different. Like you said, whether you're an individual or you need coverage for your family, your spouse, and children, we have plan designs that fits those needs for each and every employee.
Fantastic stuff. Branson, I really do appreciate your time. Appreciate you everything today. Really appreciate you all coming to Dallas and you all going on. I think we could talk for hours on retention, but I want to get people to your all seminar to see them there. So if you guys want to hear more about how to take your benefits package and turn it into a tool for your company that you can leverage to keep drivers around, to keep drivers happy, come to Dallas, come see Branson on Wednesday. We'll have all the info up online. Branson, thanks so much. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.